Guys, the day has come.
What's the day?
The day that I've been dreading. The wiring begins.
And just a reminder, guys, we are not electricians. I thought there wasn't any electricity in the van yet.
Hi guys, we are Nick and Sam, and this right here is Lord Onyx. We have been living and travelling in self-built camper vans since 2018, and between us we have converted 4 vans. For the past few series we have been vlogging our van life adventures, which has taken us through Spain, Portugal, Scotland, Norway and Germany. But if you know anything about van life, a build is always calling. So this time around, Tara will be resting her wheels whilst we take on the challenge of building van number 5.
Morning guys and welcome back. Today is another van build day.
Let's go.
I'm not too sure how much van building is going to be going on because look at these pair, they're like zombies.
Don't do mornings.
You're not very good at mornings either, are you, mister? You've only just opened your eyes.
Before we get to the van build, I thought we'd do a really quick recap. Last week we focused on the insulation of the van. We got the foil in and we've got the sheep's wool all in. So that was all complete. I'm really happy with it. And then finally we worked on the carpeting of the wheel arches and the back doors. So that is complete too. So huge ticks last week.
Which brings us on to this week, which is all about electrics. And guys, when I say electrics, I mean begin the electrics.
But first, we're kicking off with a visit to the garage. Dork just needs some things looking at, like these wheels. They're just a little bit grubby. There's even flies flying around them. So yeah, let's sort them out. We want to give a huge shout out to Rogue Alloy for these insane alloys. They have a huge range, but we went for the Rogue Raw 16-inch alloys in black with Michelin Agilis Cross Climate tyres. We've had these tyres on all of our vans, so there was no way Dork was going to get anything less. Get yourself 10% off at roguealloy.co.uk using code NR10. You can find the link in the description below. Never ever did I think at 30 I would be excited to get some alloys.
Come on in.
Guys, the day has come.
What's the day?
The day that I've been dreading.
The day of doing electrics?
Yeah, we're starting our electrics today and I've been putting it off, but also with the postal strikes it's helped me put it off because we've not got our,
didn't
get our wires, sorry.
Man.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit daunting for everybody because electrics is probably the hardest bit, but when you've got such good resources like YouTube.
Like Sam.
YouTube, guys, brilliant resources, hopefully it'll get us through.
And like I know we've done electrics before in all of our vans, but it's one of those things that you don't do very regular, so you forget and then you have to re-jog your memory, and each time, for me anyway, I've still found it just as daunting as the last.
Yeah.
I just maybe kind of understand it a tiny bit more when we go back to it.
It's getting a little bit better each time.
Yeah.
I guess first plan is to tape out the design in the van, see where we can actually position things, because we need to figure out where the wires are all going from and to.
Because we showed you what layout we're going for. Obviously we hadn't put the walls and stuff in. I know they're not properly in, but now it's to actually like put it down and see if it works, and then deciding where all the electrics and stuff is going.
So we're ready to run some cables. These hands are itching.
We're going to start by measuring out the sofa bed, which we want 120 centimetres wide.
So it needs to be at least 60 centimetres, and we can pull it out. You have it as an L shape as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So that will be here. Then the next thing we want to mark out is the storage with the bathroom.
Yep.
Don't know if we're actually going to be able to have a little wet room or not.
I think those measurements are going to get trimmed smaller and smaller because the bed is way more of a priority, I think. Yeah, the bed is priority, and then the kitchen, which will sit at the back. Yep.
So yeah, once we tape it all down, we'll find out what the layout will really look like.
What it can actually
be.
So that is only leaving us 52 centimetres depth for the storage space and for the shower over here, which is pretty tight.
Do you think, I think as well, after the wheel arch is in, that's about 55 centimetres. Do you think we could fit in a cubicle that's 52 by 55 centimetres?
It'd be pretty claustrophobic, but
should we
probably
tape
make
it
it
up
work.
And see if we can make it work?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I actually think we've got more than the 55 centimetres that I thought, because we hadn't pushed the wheel arch over enough. So what we've actually got is 69 centimetres. So 69 by 52. Sam, do you want to do the honours and get into the bathroom?
Ooh! I mean, it is a little bit tight, but it definitely works. But you just need to obviously think about the pump in the shower and your soaps and stuff.
So the plan was to have the door here, and then there'd be a toilet inside. So I need to check the toilet that I want and the measurement. That would come out. And then we'd use the hose lock shower pump that we already use. So technically, you could have the shower outside whilst you're stood inside. So we don't need to worry about like having a shower head and stuff up because that will just all be like manual. Yeah, it is tight, but it's like if you went to the beach for the day and you just want a quick shower, is this good enough?
And throw your wetsuits in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, we might have a bathroom after all.
So I guess the idea of taping all this out was to figure out where you run all the cables to. So do you have any idea where it's going?
It's so hard to make a decision. Like, I'm thinking electrics will sit in this trunk or on this trunk. It might have to overspill because there's batteries, inverter, solar charge controller,
fuse,
blade box, so
relay.
that all needs to fit in here.
I think it would fit in there.
But if it doesn't, then the batteries can overspill onto this side.
Yeah.
So that means we know where the electrics are going to sit and where the wires need to run from and to. So the next is main sockets.
Oh yeah.
So I think there'll be one in the kitchen. And by the way, we haven't taped up the kitchen because it is just going to be the corner. We're having a heater on that end, so we'll need wires going down there. And we'll have, and the water pump. So electric's going down there. Lights down the middle and one in the bathroom if we're going to have a bathroom. I'm not saying 100% we're having one yet. It's a nice to have, So there'd be a light in there.
Yep.
And then the switches, it'd be nice to have one as you walk in and then one at the bedroom.
On the end of the kitchen we're planning on having like a little control panel section just so where we can have like the water pump switch, maybe a battery
monitors and stuff like that.
Yeah, little electrics to kind of route to.
I feel like we should just draw it out on the like layout drawing that we've done and show you exactly where it's all going.
Yeah.
So the electrics will sit either here or across both. For the lights, I think we could pop one here, one in the bathroom, and then maybe down the centre of the lounge. For the main sockets, we'll pop one at the back of the kitchen as well as down on the trunk here. And then our fan is here, so we need wiring to that. So we have had a little reshuffle on the design, and the fridge will be going here, so we'll need wires to go there, as well as to the water pump and switch, which will go on the control panel. We will also be having a heater somewhere around here, whether it will fit under the driver's seat or under the sink, we're not sure. And then finally, we're going to have a 12-volt socket and all our monitors sitting here, so this will be like a control panel, which will sit on the side of the kitchen / side of the sofa bed. And I nearly forgot to put the light switches in. So we're going to have one here, so as soon as you walk in, you can turn the kitchen lights on. Another one for the bathroom. Then over here, we'll have a light switch for the bedroom lights. I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little apprehensive getting the wiring started.
You need to get a list put together, don't you?
I think we need a diagram. So I think we need to do that tonight before we start the wires, yeah?
Agreed.
Because I would hate to get the walls up and then find out we missed a wire to the fan in the ceiling, because I'd hate that.
But first, before it gets dark, I think we need to get the battens in before we can run any wiring.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Let's do that. On the wall behind the bed, Nick has told me that she wants to have it ply lined, therefore we're going to have the battens running horizontally. We're going to bring the battens up to meet this cross member. It's about 15mm thick. Then we'll run the ply just to overlap this wall over here, and then finish it with a corner trim so we can hide this curve here. And on the roof, Nick has told me that she wants to have cladding, so we're going to have to run the battens horizontal, and we're going to be repurposing some of this old ply that was on the roof before. You just want to find any excuse not to do work, you do, don't you? You just want to talk to the camera. I just don't feel it, but every time we like do another step, I'm like, oh, we're closer to doing the wiring. But again, we haven't been well again this week, have we? Yeah. So in September we were really ill, and then this week we've been really ill. We've got a really bad cough, so I've not been this ill in 10 I just want to cuddle up in bed or something. Yesterday we actually went to Wickes and picked up some timber for the battening. So we'd already measured everything up yesterday. So we are ready. We're ready to start. We just need to do
Yeah, I don't know what all this black stain is on it.
Notice that.
Probably off the tyres, the wheels, yeah?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a bit... Oh, God.
167 and 170.
167 and 170. This has got to go in. You know what I mean? It's just got to go in.
Look at your tongue, man. You're like a lizard.
You're a lizard?
Your face expressions are making me giggle. Oh.
Finally. Whoa. Woo! That was a nightmare. I don't know why, but this steel or aluminium just seems to be so thick. It's so hard to get the screws through. So the battens are in with a few extra holes as well.
So that now means we can move on to the ceiling battens. We might also run a batten behind the wall that's already up over there another time when we pull it down. Because I want overhead storage up there. But the question is, his mum's made us a roast. Do we go in now or do we finish the battens?
It's getting dark, so we either utilise the time. It's cold already, so we're
You know what I want to do.
We're going to have to warm it up either way, so we might as well carry on. As you can see, it's very dark now. It's not even 5 PM. I'm going to work on getting these battens on the roof while Nick does some admin work editing the YouTube. I'm going to cut, I think, about 5cm strips of this plywood, which is about 5mm thick, and get these tacked up on the wall before we finish for tonight. It is not really ideal to cut this standing up, but because it's so long and so big, don't really have a choice, to be honest. I'll use a little gauge, run it along while it's standing. It's pretty thin, so it shouldn't really kick the blade about. See how it goes. And there you have it, guys. 3 beautiful battens. You're never going to believe this, what I found tucked up in the garage. It's all my old electrical stuff for the van, so anything that we were missing, hopefully, we got it sorted in here.
Yeah, there looks like there's some goodies. Patches box, which I haven't sorted.
Yeah. You can have that if you want.
No, that looks ugly. So, the wiring begins. So let's take a look at our wiring diagram. The first one which we're tackling is of the easy appliances to wire, basically where it only needs one positive and negative wire running to and from the fuse box. Next up is wiring our mains, which we use 2.5mm 3-core wire, another simple circuit.
I thought there wasn't any electricity in the van yet there.
So that's the easy wiring done. We've done the circuit where we literally need one positive and one negative wire running from the battery to the appliance, let's say. But now it's time for the hard part, the lights. This is probably the most complex wiring circuit we've done, because usually we just have the one circuit, one switch for the light, but this time we're going for 3 different switches, 3 different circuits, but combining them all into one somehow.
And just a reminder, guys, we are not electricians. However, my brother is, and he's signed this off, so if this van goes up in flames, Adam, this is on you.
And next is our light. We have 3 different switches that operate different lights on the one circuit. Our kitchen, bedroom and bathroom. Personally, this diagram is extremely complex for my brain to explain, but I'll try my best. We have wired them all up in parallel using 1.5mm black and red cable, which means if one fails, the other lights will continue to work as opposed to wiring in series. In order for us to wire them in parallel, we use 3-way cable connectors, which are the big dots on the diagram.
Just like to add that before even starting my previous van build, I'd never even touched a saw, I'd never touched any multi-tool, power tool, nothing. Electrics, forget about it. But as long as you actually just kind of put your energy in the right place, do a lot of research, check with other people, always get advice, it really starts to come together and it just makes sense. And wiring up this electrical system, wow. This kind of just clicked yesterday because Nick's basically had 3 switches, so it's like 3 circuits in one, and it feels like it's starting to come together, if I do say so myself. I'm not saying it's working yet, so that's yet to be seen. Oh, and that marks the final negative wire in the light system. Thank God.
I am so chuffed that the wiring is now done.
It's probably the most daunting part of any van build, so it's good that we've kind of got our heads together and got this complete.
I'm glad it's done. And we haven't shown you exactly how we've ran the wires because everyone's layout will be different, so you'll run your wires differently. So instead, what we're going to do is share a couple of tips on what we did as non-electricians to make ourselves feel confident doing this. So tip 1.
Use the internet, YouTube, you literally have everything at your disposal here. There is so much information, and guys, read multiple different people's blog posts and YouTubes, because people wire things in different ways. When you get to solar panels, it becomes parallel and series.
Not everything on the internet is correct. So the more you read, the more you'll start to realise who's right and who's wrong. So gather all of the information you possibly can, then go away and draw your diagram, and if possible, then get like an electrician to review your diagram right at the end like we did. Tip 2, if you don't have anyone to check over your circuit, you can use a website called Tinkercad where you can put your circuit all online and it will basically tell you if it flows or not.
A few other useful tips for wiring your van is make sure you label your wires because things can get confusing.
I didn't label in my very first van, and it was mind-boggling trying to figure it all out. So number 2 is leave excess wires. So I say excess wires, excess slack in your wiring, you know, at the ends and in the middle for your lighting, so you have room to play with.
But also run extra wires as well, because sometimes there's things that you want to add.
So we'll be running some extra wires over towards the little monitor and control panel area, just in case there's something we've missed.
And just another one, guys, a quick one. Make sure you check what load rating your devices are taking for the amps, because each cable size is different. So we're not going to tell you on this YouTube what sizes you need, but we're telling you that bear that in mind, so go away and research that, look at the appliances you're going to install and what ampage it uses, and then you can figure out the right wires for that. So far I think we've got 3 different wires in this van. So I think that's it. Guys, we're going to wrap it up there. What a vlog it has been. A little bit messy, but I think we're getting there, aren't we?
I think this stage just feels messy because it's the electric, so you kind of go like one step forward, then you have to go work on the walls, and then you can do more of the electrics, and then you work on the ceilings, you know. So next week is walls, ceiling, and solar panels.
That'll be exciting.
So we need to test them that they actually work as well before we install them. So lots to do next week.
I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to get in on solar.
It feels like the shell is nearly done.
This is where it starts to get progressively better.
But it's also getting really cold, so let's wrap up and we'll catch you next week. So you know what to do, guys, if you've enjoyed the vlog. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Ciao, guys.